Well, there was a hearing the other day in the Senate. You saw part of this, I'm sure. It was held on C-SPAN, the Senate Judiciary Committee, post-Roe v. Wade America. Now, keep in mind, the Democrats have always believed in a post-Roe v. Wade America. They've always believed in abortion on demand right up to the last second. And this is where I continue to say we need to press them. Republicans need to press them. People who are pro-life need to press them. Rational human beings need to press them. Do you believe that's a baby 1 minute before birth? Yes or no? They cannot answer it. They will not answer it. Also, they keep talking about birthing people. You know, it's interesting. Months and months and months ago on radio, on TV, and even here, I said that this movement, this transgenderism ideology and the way the Democrats are reacting to it is destroying women and womanhood and the women's movement and Title IX under the Civil Rights Act for sports. In other words, women are being diminished. They're not definable. And it's so ridiculous. And women's groups are silent. Activists are silent. And this is being tolerated, but not by me. And so you'll see some of this. Here's a hearing with law professor Khiara Bridges of UC Law School in California, and Josh Hawley, who is a sharp dude. He was a Supreme Court clerk at the hearing on the issue of, I think, abortion, but maybe more on women. Go.
Professor Bridges, you said several times, you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing that.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important.
What does that have to do with any of this? I don't even know if that's true, but that said, trans men can get pregnant. That's because they're biologically women. A biological man cannot get pregnant. Must we embrace and accept the insanity of the left? Must we turn their beliefs into our reality? I mean, this is just nuts. Go ahead.
Questioning? So we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist
I'm denying that trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No,
I don't think women can get pregnant.
So you're denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you?
Absolutely.
Or are they also treated like this, where they're told that they're opening up people to violence?
We have a good time in my class. You should join.
Oh, I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot just in this exchange.
Absolutely.
Extraordinary.
Yep.
How rude, by the way. And how self-righteous. Have you noticed? She is a tenured law professor. You wonder why we're turning out kids who are brainwashed in this propaganda? Very glib, very quick. The fact of the matter is, they want to follow the science when they can impose vaccines or masks or what have you, and they don't want to follow the science when it comes to the sexual organs of men and women and the definition of a woman and the definition of a man. Now, what's interesting about her testimony, if you really think about it at its core, it's not much different than our new Supreme Court Justice, Justice Jackson, who refused to define a woman for the very same reasons this law professor said what she said. And so she is going to be, without a question, this new justice, a vote for this insanity. a vote for this insanity. I wonder if conservatives will be marching up and down her streets and yelling with their young kids and chasing them down at restaurants and so forth. You know they won't.
For more, sign up for Levin TV.